Happy Thursday. We're coming to you live from the hottest place on earth,
Houston, Texas.
Well, I mean Cactus music.
Oh, you mean figuratively.
Figuratively, the hottest place on earth.
Yes.
Oh, man.
White
I'm Ruben.
hot music releases.
That's Quinn. It's Happy 713 Day in Houston.
It's 713.
We celebrate 713, and that's to celebrate. Quinn has prepared one of the best lists ever.
It's a pretty great list.
Yes, it is.
I'm not going to lie to you.
Let's
I'm
do
not
it.
going to lie to you.
Let's talk about it.
We're going to kick it off big time. We're going to talk about this guy.
Oh, wait. Global listening event. Are we good? First? Was that first or no?
Oh, I threw him in. We could.
Come on. It says it right there.
Okay.
Hit it.
Watch our socials for details. But we have next week, we have 2 global listening events. We're going to kick it off Barbie, the album, which is it's a huge record.
I heard the soundtrack was good.
The soundtrack is nothing but stars. Check it out. I'm not going to run them all down here, but next, let's see, on the 18th, on Tuesday, 5:30 p.m., you can hear the album for the first time in its entirety. We have tons of great, cool giveaways for people. So if you're a Barbie fan, come on out. It's going to be a good time.
Yep.
And then the next day, I think we're all excited about this record. The Greta Van Fleet brand new record is coming out that Friday at Starcatcher on Wednesday, 7/19, 5:30 p.m. You can hear the record for the first time in its entirety, and you can pre-order. We have a very limited number of the Indie Store exclusive colored vinyl. There's only like 2 variants of this thing, and that's the time you want to. We at some of these things we pre-ordered out of what we had at the listening event. So, but complimentary St. Arnold's at both events, and good times, good vibes, free stuff.
Love it.
Hope to see you there.
All right.
Now back to
our regularly scheduled program.
This guy right here, Lukas Nelson, Willie Nelson's son. His band Promise of the Real, the new album Sticks and Stones coming out. We have an Indie Store exclusive colored vinyl. What you need to know about him: this is his 8th album. He had it self-produced, and man, he's a triple threat. He's a great writer, brilliant guitar player, and terrific, unique singer.
Yeah,
you will hear his father.
I was just about to say,
his voice. And man, I just think he is such a star on the rise. He has kind of done his own thing. He's carved his own niche.
Yep.
And still tours with Willie, and he's going to step into that role, I think, with a family band. At some point. But man, his records are terrific. This record is great. The first 2 singles are great.
I was about to say.
And really the best example I can think of a musician as a son following his father's footsteps, and just top notch effort. And for the first 10 people that purchase from us, we have autographed editions.
That's nice.
You can get an autograph.
That's beautiful. That's
jacket.
beautiful.
How about
I will
that?
tell you what, man. I really enjoyed the second track, Alcohol.
Oh, it's so great. It's like one of the best songs.
It's really good, right? Man. It's fantastic.
It's good. And go see him live. He's terrific live. Terrific. Okay.
Good stuff.
We're going to keep the Texas vibes going. There's a brand new Shinyribs record that's out. It's called Transit Damage. Which, this is Kevin Russell. They kind of started as like an acoustic-y, folky blues, and they've morphed into this Memphis soul band with horns. Great vocalists, lots of humor. Really beloved band around the state. And, they often they've done I think a thing at Discovery Green every year.
I was getting a little Dr. John New
absolutely
Orleans flavor in there.
There's some of that, and then he'll back it up and like play the ukulele or whatever.
Yeah.
He's terrific. Public radio and Americana radio staple. Shopper. Kevin's great.
Love it.
Him. Great to have a new record from him. This one's just as good as you might imagine. And we're keeping the Americana train rolling right here.
Are.
Brand new record from Coulter Wall. This record is called Little Songs, and he really emerged around the same time as Charlie Crockett, as Tyler Childers, and not like those other guys, but definitely kind of cut from the same cloth. A very genuine, traditional recording artist. Records are very rootsy. You're not going to hear a lot of vocal correction on this record. He has a really unique, gruff
delivery.
Voice.
Yes, absolutely.
I dig it. I think he's super cool.
Yeah, and he's getting. There's a lot of buzz around this guy. I will tell you that this is. Did we mention on blue vinyl? This was
Indie Store exclusive blue vinyl, y'all.
And guys, take a good look at the cover, because if you're not familiar with him, the music sounds exactly like this picture.
Yeah, he's a rancher in Canada, Canadian recording artist. I mean, He said all these songs were inspired by being out on the range where you don't see people at all.
Yeah.
You got to get through the day. You got to have some little songs.
I particularly liked Evangelina.
Yeah, I like it a bunch. And
Good
you're
track.
going to be hearing more from him. He's one of those guys that sold more with each record.
Yeah.
And it's going to continue.
This is crazy.
It is.
Because I heard it for the first time when you sent me the list.
Oh, are you
yeah,
serious?
yeah. Oh, yeah.
So this is Aespa. This is a huge K-pop all-girl group. And they have, and a lot of K-pop artists, they tend to release EPs. I'm sure to just kind of maximize events as far as putting records out there. And they're super popular. Karina, Giselle, Winter, and Ningning.
Yeah, and Ningning.
Yeah, Ningning. The K-pop thing is big anyway. What you need to know is if you purchase it from Cactus, we're I think the only store in town that have these cool studded trading cards. If you buy the CD from us, we've already sold a bunch of them, but we actually got some more cards. So we ordered up more copies, so you can get that from us. And,
they've got one song. I was scrolling through there. It sounded like it could have been like on the first Destiny's Child record.
Oh, absolutely.
There was like that super vibe to that. Yeah,
I get that too.
But it was weird because I saw they did a live performance, I think in like Korean television or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I knew the song was on here, but I YouTubed it and that's where I found it. And it's like, but you're looking at these girls and that sound's coming out of them. And it's like, oh, it takes your brain a minute to catch up to that.
It's cool.
I liked it.
Cool. Did it go already?
I liked it.
And we're always happy to have something unique for fans of all stripes, like all kinds of stuff. Grouplove has a brand new record. Seems like they've been kind of coming quick. The single's cheese. I like it. It's like that LA.
I love these guys. They're very quirky.
But they're like an arena rock band, but they still manage to be different and kind of quirky.
Quirky, good hooks.
The singer
Poppy.
is awesome, right?
Yeah.
Great voice, and I didn't make a note of his name. It's I think this really connects with a lot of the 90s music because I hear a lot of Pixies in there.
Yep.
There's some Flaming Lips. It's that angular, guitar almost kind of screechy in places.
Yeah.
I dig it. They're a cool band.
They lean on 2 or 3 different seasonings in their songwriting, in their cooking. That you're like, it seems super familiar, but you're like, yeah, it's Grouplove.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want it all right now.
Yeah.
The title. That's on Indie Store exclusive vinyl too.
This
so
is
you
good.
can pick that up at the.
Yeah.
It looks like Tammy Wynette.
It does look like Tammy Wynette.
I was like looking at it.
I saw them live at Fitzgerald's one night.
Oh,
and
wow.
We weren't even going to go to the show. We just ended. They played with the Bell Brigade.
Oh, yeah. We did an in-store with Bell Brigade that day.
Yeah.
That's funny.
I think did Grouplove open? No. Bell Brigade opened.
You know who Bell Brigade, those kids are? They're John Williams kids.
Are they really?
The composer. Yeah, I was like, wow, there's a big push. There's a big push behind this record. I don't know who these people are.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, guess what?
Greatest
it was a good show.
Soundtrack composer of the 20th century. It's his kids. So.
Lots of kind of a Buckingham Nicks vibe to that
Absolutely.
album.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They kind of
harmonies.
They kind of were too quick on it. If that would have happened 5 years later.
Yeah.
Like,
oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Because I don't know if they even did a second record.
What's the Steve Martin? Timing is everything.
Right.
There you go. The great rapper Lil Wayne has his first career.
Wheezy
has his first career retrospective, and it also features the 18. You get 18 tracks, and features Can't Nobody. I think one of the last performances by DMX.
Wow.
And of course, tons of hits on there. Eminem, Drake, Jay-Z make guest appearances.
Yeah, go figure.
And,
everybody's on here.
It's funny. I feel like in the age of streaming, a lot of the greatest hits kind of things have gone away. But you see something like this with just top to bottom tracks.
Yes,
it's really compelling. I think it's good move on his part. And hip hop CDs are selling really, really well. It seems like that's big.
I think you and I were talking about that.
Yeah,
and that's good.
It is happening. Okay, and from back in the where have they been? They're back pile.
Yes.
We have African Head Charge.
I love this
is
record.
A cool band,
I
and
love
this is a great sounding record, and it sounds like the cover, right?
It does sound like the cover. 100%. I love this. I love anything that is anywhere in the dub universe.
Yeah. And it's like this, and they fly in like all kinds of. So they're like an electro dub psychedelic band.
Yep.
Is that how you'd say it?
Yep.
The records are really compelling, totally different. Revolving door membership. I think there's only like 2 steady members in the group.
Yeah.
But they pull in all these different sounds. So you have this kind of crazy organic or electronic dub thing going on, and then you get this like organic sound of like a clarinet or something.
Yeah,
they really mess with it, and it's fun. Their records are really fun.
And you have the great Adrian Sherwood as producer, who's worked. I mean, he's dub is his wheelhouse too. I mean, he's done other things, but I mean, going way back, I mean, just all the stuff he's done. I saw the project he did with Doug Wimbish. He did Tackhead with Doug Wimbish. I saw that live, and they just reunited. I heard they're doing like shows in Europe or whatever. But this, put it on. It's not going to sound like anything else you have. Groovy guitar immediately. It sounded like Mdou Mokhtar. I picked that up right away, and it's definitely that cool African sound.
Gone to the club.
Yeah, man.
Go to the club.
Yes, but banger.
Get
that one.
All right, I was talking about another genius of African
100%
music. This is Tony Allen.
Brilliant.
Who's one of the greatest drummers ever of
I had so much fun listening to this.
And so this is part of Adrian Young's. He's done a bunch of film music. He's a producer. Cactus Shopper.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I did not know that.
And he does this series Jazz Did where he takes legendary artists and gets them to do something new that's not necessarily of the time, but kind of returns them to their classic sound and works with them. And what you need to know, so Tony Allen died in 2020, but he was in Fela Kuti's band. He played in 30 albums with him, and he has this weird like polyphonic stuff. He's really one of the most innovative African drummers.
So if you don't know, once you put it on, you're like, oh, those are funk grooves, but they're not.
Yeah.
His I mean, it's funky.
Yeah,
but in the best possible way.
And he's also was one of the first supporters of hip hop and electro music and combining all that. He's one of those guys. Everything comes in and creates something different.
He's definitely got his own thing.
And there's tons of great YouTube. If you just want to see this guy play. There's tons of great YouTube content that you can stream and check out. You just got to see him play. It's wild.
Get that.
There's always a moment in every song where like he's playing some beat. I'm like, what is that?
Yeah, just some beautiful little
love it. So
little shuffle, little
good
transition.
New Jazz is Dead record.
Yeah, man.
We like that.
Yep.
Now for something completely different, Chris Stamey, power pop legendary artist. You know him from the DBs and from the North Carolina guy. He also played a big role in Big Star and did the Big Star Third
Alex
concerts.
Chilton.
And
Worked with Mitch Easter.
Yeah, and there's an Alex Chilton cover on this. What you need to know about this, he really kind of he's for this record, he's employed Eric Haywood, who plays steel guitar with the Jayhawks and a bunch of other cool bands. And he's kind of countrified. It's got a very early 70s California country rock feel, along with his like power pop great songs mixing. I love it. I think it's terrific.
That is accurate.
He only makes a record every 5 years or so, and it's always, if you're into what he does, it's always a rewarding listen.
Cool.
And then we have Blake Mills. You hit to, so Blake Mills. There he is. Extreme close up of Blake Mills. This is his new album, Jelly Road, and he makes a record every few years. He is an incredible guitar player and a brilliant producer. I had to actually make a note here to run it. He was originally a member of the band Dawes, which went on to great success.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And he stepped off because he had such great. I think there was also some artistic differences, but he was such an in-demand producer and guitarist. That these are just a few of the guys.
He was too busy to be in Dawes.
He was too busy to be in Dawes, and also I think the register bank account was ringing because he was busy producing albums by Bob Dylan, Feist, Jenny Lewis, Alabama Shakes, John Legend, Jack Johnson, Wise Blood, The Killers, Beck, Mumford and Sons. This guy.
Is there anybody? Wait,
he's top
I was just waiting for you to name someone I'd heard of.
Yeah. I don't. They're going to do something someday. They'll connect with it. They're
one of those bands might turn into something.
They will connect. So his records are just, the guitar playing is like from somewhere else, and they're always kind of this a little bit atonal, but really calm, cool, chill records. I love his records. Check this one out. It's a really good one.
That one I didn't get to last night, unfortunately. I ran out of time, but
that is okay. It's on your list. You can start.
I know it's on my list. I try to get through the list.
Okay, so last Friday, everybody kind of knows about this. The Taylor Swift Speak Now, Taylor's version came out, which is very cool. It's a big seller for us. Updated cover art and everything. And we were talking at the store about the fact that So she recorded this record when she was 19. She
Yeah.
recorded it at 32.
Yeah.
Her voice is
33,
stronger.
yeah, I think.
Her voice is stronger now
Oh,
than
yeah.
it was then. Like she's just more of a belter. She's more of a seasoned singer. I think the vocals are stronger. And for you big fans out there,
Yeah.
Taylor has been good in recent years to really look after independent retail, and she made 5,000 available of the direct-to-consumer version, which is already sold out on her site. You can only get it at independent retail stores now. And what is this one? This is the violet marbled vinyl.
Nice.
She's big on the color variants.
Nice.
So there you go. New photos, album artwork, tons of tracks from her vault that had not been available before.
And we love her.
It's 3 LPs and
we love her. My
right?
intern is in Denver for her show this week.
oh, is that right? How
Yeah,
funny.
Abby.
That's great.
Did you see the picture on social with her and Bun B?
Oh, I heard about it, but I didn't see it.
He was at Questlove's party, and he was like walking out, and I think Quest was like, "Hey, bud, I want you to meet Taylor." He turns around, and he's like, "It's the Taylor."
Hey, Taylor. Not another Taylor.
And he said very kind words.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love it, man.
Yeah.
Buns everywhere. See,
He's-
Tyson was across the street this week.
You're right.
At Trillburgers. Wow. Just a different celebrity signing.
This area has just become the, kind of like
Oh, you want to be here.
magnetic core of the
And I will tell you,
star-spangled universe.
if you're hanging out at the record store, you do not know who you're going to run into.
No.
You never know. You
No.
never know. Okay, we're going to kick off the very anticipated and popular reissue portion of our program with just a couple of records. And this is a big one. This is
I think this is the segment that's going to get sponsored, but we'll talk about that later. I think
This
we're going to
is-
get a call from,
This is the artist
Heineken.
Ramona Lisa. This is her album Arcadia. What you need to know, this is actually Caroline Polachek from Chairlift. This was, I believe, her first, their 2014 solo record. Kind of her recording as an alter ego, trying to figure out how she's going to be a solo artist. The thing that's interesting about this, there's no live instruments on it, which we know there's a lot, especially with the pop and hip hop.
Right.
There's a lot of records with no live instruments on, but this is all sounds that she made on her laptop. I really dig it. I think it's got like this kind of haunting kind of.
She's done something else though, because I know the name. Did she act as well?
I think she does. Yeah, she's super. She's sold
I know
out.
I know the name.
What a music hall.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
Her last trip through, but
There you go.
fans have been looking for this. You haven't been able to get it, so finally
It is available.
on vinyl.
Cactus Music, come get it.
And for you Queen and Eddie Van Halen fans, this is something that's been talked about for reissue for years. This is the Starfleet.
Oh my God, I
And
totally forgot about this.
Starfleet project, Brian May and friends. The genesis of this project was in like '82. Brian May's like 4-year-old son was addicted to the show Starfleet, and they'd get up in the mornings and watch the show. Dad, get down here, Starfleet is on. And his son was the one that said, Dad, you should theme song. You should do that. You would do a great version of it. He's like, you know what? That's a pretty good song. So Queen was on hiatus. Van Halen was on hiatus. Those two guys get together with Alan Gratzer from REO Speedwagon, who had some downtime, and Phil Chen, who session guy, played with a ton of people.
Yeah.
And they did this.
Played with Rod Stewart for a
They
while.
called it yeah, that's right. And so they did this, what you call a mini LP.
Right.
That's what they called it because they thought it was more than an
I
EP.
remember
And
hearing about this, but I never heard it.
yeah, the song's great. And there's like a blues jam, so it's got a real solo album kind of feel to it. But for decades, there's been speculation that there was a ton of extra material, and there is.
And there was.
So when Eddie passed, Brian May had already been in talks with him about making this music available again, and so it was.
There's tons of stuff on here.
There's
man.
tons of stuff. There's even in the box set. There's an individual CD version. There's an individual LP version. This is the big box that has the interview with Bob Coburn on Rockline. Remember Rockline?
Of course.
And a bunch of outtakes, alternate studio versions, but sanctioned by the Eddie Van Halen estate. And it's cool that it's cool this out there because there's not much Queen solo material. There's a few records by
Right.
all the guys, but
Part of the Brian
so
May
fans
Gold
are
series.
the Gold Series. That logo is the worst, right?
It's the worst. I was wondering why it was on there. I'm like, oh, it says Brian May.
It looks so bad. Okay. All right. And that concludes Rish. We can go straight to the jazz records. We like to talk about a couple of jazz records every week. We're going to kick it off with this one. Even though it's in the reissue program, this is an actual archival release where it's the first time this music's ever been released. This is Evenings at the Village Gate. This is John Coltrane with Eric Dolphy. This is noteworthy because it contains the only non-studio recording of Africa, which is one of
Really?
Coltrane's
Wow.
most admired tunes. This record has a crazy story.
Yeah.
It was part of. It was recorded as part of an association with the New York Public Library, and the tapes have been sitting there for ever. And they just found them like, oh, this is pretty
We should
good.
do something with
We
this.
should do something with
Wow.
this. So you get Eric Dolphy and John Coltrane in tandem. People are just raving about this thing. Available for the first time. So on the Impulse label, which was John Coltrane's label.
It is indeed.
And then you get this is great. You get we got a couple from the Verve by Request series.
Oh,
where they
yeah,
pick
yeah.
unusual records that have not been available in forever, sometimes since they were originally released. Pressed at Third Man Pressing in Detroit, Michigan, through arrangement with Universal and Impulse and Verve. So a lot of Impulse records going on here, but this is Pharaoh Saunders' Black Unity record. This is a big record. 1971. As we've talked about on the drop before, he was an architect of free jazz and improvisational spiritual jazz. This record's a really unusual record because it flies in. There's an African element, there's an Aboriginal element, there's a Latino element, there's a Native American element. It's like everything kind of swirling into once. It's a dense record. Something you need to hear. It's not going to resonate with everybody, but it's an important record.
Yeah.
It's
not easy listening.
Worth checking out.
Love that though. That's fantastic.
Yeah,
1972.
That's what we need. And then from 65, we have Yusef Lateef's Psychicemotus.
Good job.
Album. Yeah, I know.
Nice.
I worked on that.
That's very well done, sir. Very well
And
done.
Yusef Lateef, a brilliant multi-instrumentalist. He plays flute and tenor sax, for those that you don't know. This record, also on Impulse, John Coltrane, it was inspired by Coltrane, and you really hear his mark on the record on a couple of the tracks, most notably. And there's soulful versions of standards as well.
I love it.
But it's cool. And do you notice something about this album cover? What do you notice about that? On the other side?
Being the is it embossed? No.
Flash forward 30 years.
Yeah.
The great LA Paisley Underground band, the Dream Syndicate, used this album art and redid it for their debut album.
No, man, that would
The
never
Days
would
of
have
Wine
landed.
and Roses.
I remember that, but never would have landed. That's so cool.
Yeah, so one of the best 60s jazz records from the mid 60s.
They were like,
They lifted the cover
Yeah,
art,
we'll take that.
and it also becomes one of the best Paisley Underground records of the 80s. So,
Which I think lets us know somebody in the
It's
band
good.
was aware of
simple
Yusef Lateef,
cover.
right?
Yeah, it's cool.
Cool, man.
All right, you ready for the vinyl wall?
Folks,
It's
it is
creaking
time.
open.
We need animation for this. There should be like a. There
Yeah,
should be
we
one of
don't have
these.
a budget for that.
Yeah.
Solid.
That's a pain. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, it's my
Hit
pick
it.
for the vinyl wall this week. I always try to pick something that you may or may
Yes.
not know about.
Yes.
And this is a pick that reminds you that everybody, no matter how big they were, no matter how hugely successful, popular pop culture icon, whatever you got, they all start as an indie recording artist.
At least they used to.
At least now it's
SoundCloud.
or TikTok, baby. And I would think this would have been a big TikTok hit. This is the first ever Jackson 5 7-inch on Steel Town Records from Gary, Indiana.
Now you're just showing
This
off. Look
is the Jackson 5 big boy The name of the track is actually "I'm a Big Boy Now." Look at there's Ruben.
Wow. Hello. Hi.
This is an incredibly hard to find record.
I've never seen such a thing.
I mean, they maybe made like 500 back
I
in the day.
have never seen such a thing.
And this is what got them on radio, got them noticed. And Gary and Indiana on radio jumped out of the speakers, and people driving around in their cars.
We're like, what is it?
1968, the band plays all the instruments on the recording, and the 9-year-old Michael Jackson singing the track. It's still, it doesn't have the polish of their. Later that year, they signed with Motown. They made one more single for this label, but this is the thing that kicked it all off.
Is this for sale?
It is for sale
Here at Cactus Music.
You got a hundo. You can walk in and leave with the Michael Jackson single.
I'm not even going to put it in the. I'm just going to leave it right there because I don't want anything to happen to it.
But it's so. I just think
that's
it's important.
Fantastic.
It gives you a sense of that everybody has to start somewhere, and it's important to realize.
But that's what you. I mean, the very humble 45 RPM was like the first time, and like you recorded a song. Somebody was like, "Hey, kid, we're gonna press your."
When it's the record producer, when they book time for him, it's like the classic when you see in like Coal Miner's Daughter, where she goes in and she makes the record, and the producer's like, we're gonna get you better players, and we're gonna kick this up to DJs.
Yes.
It's totally
like you,
that
kid.
vibe.
You got moxie.
Interesting footnote to this: the masters for this recording were thought lost forever, and they found them 25 years later, and it's now available in
at the New York Public Library.
At the New York,
God only knows what's in there.
Yeah, they're losing stuff.
We should make a phone call.
The Gary, Indiana Public Library. How much time we got?
We got a couple minutes.
You got a concert review?
So we went to the Paramore show, which just kind of last minute tickets, but shout out to my buddy Phil for making it happen. And we went, but we were talking about how, they used to advertise when bands were, it's like Paramore, July 27th with special guests. Nobody says special guest anymore. You never know.
You don't even see them
unless you're following every band that's on that bill and they randomly post on their Instagram or something. You don't know who's playing. Maybe I just don't know.
No, it's a thing. It's a thing.
So I get there, man. First band, Linda Lindas.
We love the Linda Lindas.
But did it tell you what happened?
No.
The middle of the second song, the bass player falls over.
Ooh.
And she's like kind of like laying down, sitting on her butt, but she's still playing. I turned away for 1 second. Somebody said that her knee kind of buckled or something. Roadies run out. They're kind of taking care of her. They're asking. She's still playing. She did not miss a lick. They finally bring out a chair. They pick her up in between the song, put the microphone, adjust the microphone. Wow. She did the whole set sitting down. They didn't miss a lick. They were tight as a drum. Vocals were on point. All right, lights come back on. I go get a beverage.
And you did not know the Linda Lindas were performing that night.
I didn't.
Though you loved them.
Love them.
Yeah.
Come back, sit down in the seats. The light goes down. Here's this big projection, this big sign that says Foals. I'm like, losing my mind. I'm having such a good time.
Best surprise.
Best. It was like Christmas. And then, of course, I'd never seen Paramore live. What a treat.
Dynamic.
What a treat. It was like
showmanship.
It was like foot on the gas the entire song.
I love it.
The entire set. I couldn't stay for the whole thing because, I get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. But man, and I'm glad some of the Cactus family was there.
Cactus crew was there too. Yeah.
Some of the Cactus crew.
Friends at Live Nation hooking up kids at the record store.
See, all the good vibes, the good energy around the record
magic
store.
happens here.
Do we have a live in-store performance on the horizon?
Yeah,
we're going to announce actual music.
We're going to announce one, maybe this afternoon or tomorrow. We're just working out the finer details. I'll say young band from LA, super good. You're going to dig them. Pay attention to our socials. In the meantime, next week we got Greta Van Fleet and Barbie, the album.
Listening
soundtrack, global listening events, free stuff, free complimentary St. Arnold beverages. You want to be here. It's going to be a good time.
Love it. All right, guys, you know the drill. Hit the share button. Tell somebody else to watch this so we can get up to maybe double-digit viewers. I'm Ruben. That's Quinn. Cactus Music World Headquarters. We'll see you next week. Peace.